Hello students, today in this video we'll discuss some more concepts about Python. In our previous video we have studied about the data types in Python, and in this video we'll discuss the mutable and immutable types in Python and what are comments and how you can write input and output statements in Python. So let's start. First of all, what is a mutable data type? In our last video, we have discussed the data types. They are the means to identify the type of data which we are going to use in our program. So the word mutable means changeable. So mutable data type means the data types which can be changed at its place. So Python data types, they are divided into two categories: mutable data types and immutable data types. Mutable data types in Python where the value assigned to a variable can be changed in place. The mutable data types means the data types in which we can change the value in place. For example, list, dictionary, sets, etc. We will discuss this later. So immutable data types, immutable means which cannot be changed. So immutable data types are those data types in Python where the value assigned to a variable cannot be changed. We can't change the value in their place. So mutable objects can be modified during processing. During execution of the program, we can change the value, we can change our data. The collection of items in a list or dictionary object can be modified. It is possible to add, delete, insert and rearrange items in a list or dictionary. Hence, they are mutable objects. So, we will discuss this list and dictionary in our mutable data types in Python. What are immutable data types? Immutable means which cannot be changed, which is not changeable. So, the data types in Python where the value assigned to a variable cannot be changed in place, they are known as immutable data types. So, immutable objects can't be altered once they are created in memory. Numbers, number values, strings and tuples are immutable, which means their contents can't be altered after creation. Once we have created those elements, those variables, we cannot change their values. So we have to discuss these numeric data types: integer, float, complex numbers, etc., and string and tuples in immutable data types. So let's see how they are practically implemented in our program. In this, we have taken one variable x and the data we have assigned to it is hello. Hello, it is a string type of data. You can check this, the data type of x, with the help of type function. Type we have discussed in our earlier video. This is a function which is used to determine, which is used to check the data type of the variable. So x is a string type of variable. We can access the values of string data using its index value. Suppose these index values are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? We have discussed in forward indexing and backward indexing. So to check mutability and immutability, we have tried to assign one new value at this index position 4. See, it is giving error. String object does not support item assignment because strings, they are immutable. So we can't assign any new value to a particular index position. That's why this is giving error. Similarly, x, this is a string. Now let's take a list. We have taken values 1, 2, 3, 4. this is a list because this is enclosed in square brackets. The type of this x variable is list. You can check by using this type function. Now when we are assigning a new value at index position 2, that is 0, 1, 2, instead of 3 we want to assign 9. So when you are giving this statement, it is not giving you any error, just like in case of string. It means list, they are mutable type of data type. You can directly change any value at any index position. Clear? So when we have changed at second index 9, so if you display this list, it will give you 1, 2, 9, 4. Earlier it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? So we have seen here that list, it is a mutable data type, but string, it is immutable data type. Similarly in case of tuples, we have created a tuple here. This is x, we have given these elements. So if we want to assign a new value as at index position 2, it is giving you an error. Tuple object does not support item assignment. So just like string, it is also an immutable data type. You cannot directly change a value at any index position. So your strings and tuples, they are immutable data type. But we have seen here that list, in case of list you can assign values. So list is a mutable data type. Similarly, let's see in case of dictionaries. So we have defined a dictionary A and given some elements here. In case of dictionary we give elements in key value pairs. You have to assign a key and assign a corresponding element, a value to that particular key. So this is a dictionary A. So if you want to assign, suppose at index position 1, I am assigning a new value, that is y. Index position 1 means at key 1. Instead of red, I want to assign a new value, that is white. Then it will not give you any error. It will change the value at that place. Here, so when we display this A, it will show you 1 white. Instead of red, it is here white, then 2 green, then 3 orange, just like that. So dictionary, it is also a mutable data type, just like list. Clear? So we have seen here that in case of mutable, we can change the values at place, but in case of immutable, we cannot change the values at place. Clear? So next we'll discuss here Python comments. How can you give comments in Python? So first of all, discuss what are comments. Comments can be used to explain Python code, means we can use comments for documentation purposes. Comments can be used to make the code more readable. Comments can be used to prevent execution when testing code, means you can block a particular part of code in comments which while testing a program. So comments can be of two types in Python: single line comments and multi-line comments. Single line comments starts with a hash and Python will ignore them. Python will ignore all types of comments, whether it is single line or double line. So when we are assigning a single line comment, we'll write like this. Suppose I want to comment this statement. This is a comment. So it is preceded with this hash tag. Hash we are using here. So the interpreter will ignore this statement. It will not execute this statement because it is in comment. Similarly, multi-line comments. Multi-line comments, when you want to spread or your comments to multiple lines, then in that case you will use multi-line comments. In case of multi-line comments, since Python will ignore string literals that are not assigned to a variable, you can add a multi-line string in triple quotation marks, just like we have discussed in our last video, triple quoted strings. So string is a value when we assign to a particular variable, but here we are not assigning to any variable, so we can use this triple quotation marks as a multi-line comments here. So just like this, you can place your code which you do not want to execute in these triple quotation marks. This is a comment written in more than just one lines. Clear? Or you can also use this hashtag in front of every line. Clear? As long as the string is not assigned to a variable, Python will read the code but then ignore it, and you have made a multi-line comment. So these triple quoted marks can also be used for multi-line comments. So let's see how it can be implemented practically. So here I have written one code to show multi-line comments and single line comments. So for example, you can see here, this is a single line comment. I have preceded this line by using this hash in front of every line. So these are, you can say these are also multi-line comments, but this is a single line. You can give it as a comment. When you execute this code, it will give you, it will only print this hello world, and it will ignore the above lines which are in comments. So the lines, the code line of code which are in comment, the compiler will not execute those lines. So you can see here, it will only print this hello world. And in this case also, when you have used here multi-line comments in triple quoted marks, hello friends, so it will print only these two statements, and it will ignore these statements which are in your comments. Clear? So we can use comments like this in our program. Next is your input and output in Python. How you can give input to the program and how you can display the output values in a program. So first we'll see here input. Python allows for user input. You can ask a value from the user during your program execution. That means we are able to ask the user for input. Python stops executing when it comes to the input function. So for asking any value from the user, we'll use input function, and continues when the user has given some input. So the execution will not resume until you will give any input value to the program. The method is a bit different in Python 3.6 and 2.7. So this input function, it has different implementation in Python, in different versions of Python. So we are discussing here Python 3.6. In 3.6 it uses input method, but in case of 2.7 it uses the raw input method. So the following example, ask for the username, and when you enter the username, it gets printed on the screen. So you will use input method just like here, input, then enter username. So when the user will enter any value, it will assign to this username. Okay? So when you will execute this code, it will be like this: enter username. Suppose you have entered here Avinash, then username is Avinash. This username, it will be assigned, entered by the user, it will be assigned to this username. Clear? So for inputting values in a program, or for inputting values from the user, we will use input function. Next is our output function. Output, the basic way to do output is the print statement. So we have used print statement to display the output. For example, this is a syntax for using this print method. print then hello world. The data which you want to print, you have to enclose this in this. You have to pass that string or that value in print function. To print multiple things on the same line separated by spaces, use commas between them. For example, if you want to print hello world in the same line, by default the print statement, it is ended with a new line character. But if you want to print in the same line separated by commas, then you can use like this: print hello, then comma, then world, and so on. So when you will execute this code, it will print like this: hello world, here in the same line. To change the output to what you want, use the keyword arguments as scp and end to print function. So we can use two arguments, end and scp. Scp for separator and end of line. End, you can specify a value for end. By default the value for end is /n, that is new line character. When separating the output with a comma delimiter, you can also define the separation format using the sep keyword. By default it is comma or space. If you want to specify any delimiter, any separator value, then you can also specify using this set keyword. By default print goes to a new line at the end. You can change this by using the keyword and, as shown in the example below. Suppose this is a statement. We have written here love 30, 82.2. These are some values, string values, then integer value, then a float value. So you can separate these values using comma. We have written here separator value as comma. And end equals to new line. End equals means at the end I have written here two exclamatory symbols, then /n means after printing these, after ending, it will give you these two values here. Clear? By default the value for end is /n, that is new line operator. So let's see how it is used here in Python. How can we run that code? So we'll try to execute a code here. I have assigned, we have taken one value x. So in this code, we'll see here practically how we can implement the input method and use print method. Here we have written one statement here, x equals to input, enter your name. Means the compiler is asking a user input. So when you execute this code, it will ask you some value for x that will be assigned to x. Suppose x, enter your age, then y equals to enter your name in x and then age in y. So when we'll print this, print x, in x the value of name will be there, and in case of y the value of age will be there. So when you run this code, it will first ask you for the value of x. It will ask you for enter your name. Suppose we have written here Amit, then age, I have given a value here 15. So when you are printing these statements, print x, print y, then print x, x is the value of x, that is Amit, then y, that is 15, the value of age. So you can see here, by default the print method, it will take new line character. So you have given two statements to this data, it is displayed in two lines. Clear? So let's see if you want to print it in the same line separated by comma. So I have given here print x comma y. Then you can see here how it is printed, Amit, then space, then 16. Comma is not there, but you have used the separator, separated these two value by comma. If you want to give a comma or any separator value, then you can specify here in sep. So I have used here this hash symbol. So when you will execute this code, then x and y, they will be separated by this hash. Clear? So you can also specify comma or hash or any other character which you want to use as separator. Similarly, when we'll type here, suppose hello friends. So we'll execute this code. Again, it will start from the starting. Enter your name, age, then this XY statement is executed, then hello friends. So you can see here, after printing this code, the cursor, it will move to the next line. So hello friends, it is printed in the next line. But what if we want to print this hello friends in the same line? Then we have to specify here end keyword, and we have to give the value here. So by default it is /n, so we will specify here simple space. So when you execute this code, after printing this x and y separated by this, it will also print this hello friends in the same line. Just see here, hello friends, it will print in the same line. So we have seen here how we can print the data. We can use print method in different forms, and how we can use the separator and attributes and values. You can specify values for end. I hope you have understood all this. So thank you.